Yeah, so basically this week I've worked on caching additional collection, that is post, events and comments. So basically the caching was done for the collection where the read operation will be significantly higher than the write operations. So it would make sense to cache posts and their comments, right? So what I did was I will just show you an example with respect to comments, how I cache the comments. Let's say for a query where where I want to fetch comment for a particular post with ID post ID, right? So basically, if I go do that, so as you can see, it takes 20 milliseconds to fetch all of these comments, and in a Redis server. So these are the comments that we added into the cache, and this is the hash value of the post ID for which the comments exist. So post comments is the hash on these values of the comments. So if I open the hash values, so the fields are the actual comments that are stored in the cache as denormalized objects. And in the hashed value for the fields, the values are null because the values are not really needed here. And based on the keys, we can fetch or whatever we want to do. We can do the operation on a denormalized object stored in the cache. That's the comments and stuff. So that's how it's done for other things like events and posts as well. So that is the major work I've done. The performance benefits are the same, similar as what I shown last week. That is, if there is a look in the local database instance, if a query takes around 2 milliseconds, then it will take around zero point 0.4 milliseconds to complete the same operation in the Redis cache. So around 80% performance benefits on average. And if the database is remotely connected, then the performance benefit, the time we get is around 99.8% improvement over the database query. So that is the performance benefit that we get. So any questions regarding this?
This is good to see. Thanks a lot. One of the questions I do have is it's not necessarily related to the work that you're doing, but somebody put an issue on GitHub asking whether it would be make sense for us to reevaluate using Docker for some of the work that we're doing, just for development. I wanted to get your opinion on that because I think the reason why we didn't do it originally was because we thought that it would create a very high overhead on the server. But I really would like to get your opinion on this, please.
I think that's actually an excellent idea because for development purposes, like if we containerize our application for setting up and just using for testing and development processes and separate those two, I think that could be excellent development process for your contributor as well as experience. So because we are also using microservices, right? So this Redis microservice, then remember the image upload and file upload thing. Right. So that would be another microservices. So if we separate our structure in these kind of things, so it would make sense to use a Docker or containerize our application.
All right. So would that mean that we would have to containerize everything, like move everything to microservices eventually?
Not exactly. We don't need to containerize our entire microservices as a whole. We can just separate our containers into testing purposes and development purposes. And after we have done that, we can write scripts to set up all of these microservices at once, each of these containers. So yeah, that would be my approach.
All right. So I will talk to the people about that and see how we can get this working. Because one of the things I want to make sure is that we can get something that would be really easy to set up and install. But then for production, would we still go with Docker? Would we go with the existing system that we have?
I'm not really sure about production because I have not really worked a lot with production level application backend, so I cannot really have an opinion about that.
Yeah, so Dominic had some very strong opinions that he didn't think it was worthwhile, but we'll see. Yeah, Sudesh, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was saying for production we might need to integrate it with Kubernetes And the Docker is basically used to create software as a service applications. So if you're creating something that is self-hosted, then we might not need that, but for the other way, we might need Docker.
Okay. All right. We probably need to discuss that a little more at the later stage. All right. Thank you very much, Kanishka. This is good to see.